Hey everyone, this is Lesky here, back with another FIFA 21 Pro Clubs player build for you guys today. And in this video, we have for you a Zlatan Ibrahimovic center forward build for you guys. Recently, in like the past 4 or 5 years on FIFA, Ibra has gotten substantial decreases to his pace and just his cards in general, but mostly his pace. So we won't be really looking at a specific Ibra card, even though I did look back on FIFA 15 and kind of used his card to make this build a little bit, but for the most part, this build is just like my opinion on what an Ibra build should be. So starting with this athletic body page, we are listed as 6'4", 119 pounds. On FIFA this year, Ibra is listed as 6'5", and I actually noticed when I went on Footbin and checked his FIFA 15 card, they have him listed as 6'4", 195 centimeters, and then this year they have him listed as 6'5", and still 195 centimeters. Like, I don't really know exactly what that comes out to in 6 foot, like in feet and inches. But I guess they kind of just rounded it up to 6'5". So basically, he's listed as 6'5", and we could have either went for 6'4" or 6'6". There's no point of going for 6'5" because you can have the same exact stats as being 6'6". Like if you go on the low side of 6'6" right there, you will have the same exact stats if you go to 6'5" like that. So I decided to go a little bit smaller and just go for 6'4", just because you're a little quicker, got better dribbling, and just all that good stuff. You're just basically faster. So that's why we went for the 6'4", and you're not going to be able to tell much of a difference between like 1 inch from 6'4" to 6'5" anyways. So it just benefits us going a little bit smaller. And then for the weight, we went for 119 pounds, basically the lowest section you can get on the weight. Like you could do 99 pounds, it wouldn't matter. It would still be the same stats, but I just decided to go to 119. And that'll basically make us as fast as possible for a 6'4" center forward. So that's basically the main reason why we made him 119, just for the pace. So just make sure you're listed as 6'4", 119 pounds, and you're good to go. And we can head over to the skill tree. Looking at this Ibra playstyle screen, you can see that we're center forward, 6'4", 119 pounds, and right-footed. My guy is a Di Maria player build right now. Like my character is actually Di Maria. When I was using this build, he was PK at the time. I just recently changed my build, and this was some older gameplay with this Ibra build. So don't worry about my character being a little bit different. It's still the exact same Ibra build. And then on this right-hand side, you can see the overall is an 89 for this build. For some of y'all, it could be a higher overall or less, just depending on how many games you have played compared to me. But now we can go on to the skill tree and start with the physical page, where we went all the way down to the strength advanced focus and the jumping focus. And this is mainly just to get that strength up, because Ibra has pretty much like 90 strength on all of his cards that I looked at, 90 or higher. So we can't even get that high for a 6'4", 119 pound center forward. So this is the best we can get, and that's what we're just gonna have to settle for. And then it'll actually give us 89 jumping, which Ibra on all of his cards doesn't have crazy jumping. So that's a little plus, that just the base stats for a center forward are already pretty good. So you can win a lot of balls in the air and score a lot of headers. So this is a very good build when it comes to being an aerial threat in the box and having some players whip in some crosses into you, because you can definitely get some volleys or some headers with this build. And then on this right side, we went down to the second wind. I suggest if you are an innie and you want to use this build, take off the second wind and add it to something on the dribbling, passing, or shooting section. I'll show you guys as we go along the skill tree like what you could add it to, but definitely take off the second wind if you are an innie, because you won't be needing it. But if you aren't playing innie, you're going to want the second wind on for that 75th minute stamina boost. That is very clutch, so make sure you have that. And this will be it for the physical page. Have really good physical stats at 89 jumping, 86 stamina, and 84 strength. You can body people with that high strength and big body type. And then again, that jumping is pretty solid for a big man. On to dribbling now, where we have 5-star skills and the flare trait. Ibra has 5-star skills on like every single FIFA, except for like, I believe FIFA 15 and then FIFA 16. Starting with FIFA 15, he got downgraded to 4-star skills. And then I believe in FIFA 17 and then every other FIFA after that, he's had 5-star skills or something like that. There was like a 2 or 3 year period where he only had 4-star skills, which was really unfortunate. But he's got his 5-star skills back again, so we had to go for that. And then he's always had flare trait on all of his cards every year, so we definitely went for that as well. And then the one thing we didn't get on this left section was the +3 balance, because he's had really low balance and high agility on all of his cards, like 50, 60 balance, like really low. So at least we got it to 80, which isn't bad. And then he has like pretty high agility, like 85 or higher on most of his cards. And the highest we can get it for a 6'4" center forward is 83 agility. So we're just gonna have to settle for that. Like we even made him 119 pounds just to boost that agility up as high as possible. And that's just what we're gonna have to settle for, is that 83 agility. So when it comes to dribbling on this build, it's not gonna be crazy quick or anything like that. It'll feel a little bit clunky since you are 6'4". You kind of just have to expect that. You don't have crazy agility or balance, but you do have pretty good ball control and dribbling stats. And if you are an innie, what I would suggest doing is taking off the second wind and adding it to this for +2 for only 2 skill points, and you get +2 ball control and +1 dribbling, which is very good. And then you could just add that 1 extra skill point to something else, like in passing or shooting. So if you're going to play any while using this build, I would definitely add the ball control focus. That'll be very clutch. It'll actually get you to 90 dribbling and 90 ball control. This will wrap it up for the dribbling section, though. We can move on to passing, where we actually don't have anything on the passing page. Because we are a center forward and not a striker, the base passing stats are already better as a center forward, and we just really need to spread the skill points around for this build. So I just opted to not put anything on the passing section. Ibra actually does have pretty good passing stats on all of his cards. And actually his card on FIFA 15 has exactly 83 vision, 76 crossing, and it has 84 short pass. So we actually have one better long pass, and I believe it has better long passing and curve than us. So we can't really do much about that. We're just gonna have to settle for not having crazy passing stats. But one thing that's good about being tall, I've noticed like on pretty much every position, I think, when you're taller, you actually have a higher vision stat. So like if this was like a 5'8" center forward or something like that, just a shorter center forward, you wouldn't have nearly as high vision. Like I think it would be like 79 vision, maybe 80. But since this is a 6'4" build, it has a little bit better vision, which makes up for some of those lower passing stats. And the passing really didn't feel too bad. Just you're gonna have to watch out since you are pretty tall. If you are trying to make those like off balance passes, some of them might not execute very well or the way you'd like them to, just because you're so tall and you're a little clunky. So when you're trying to make those off balance passes, they could mess up. But that's why we have that flare trait, so you can hopefully just hold LT while you're making the pass and just do like a fancy backheel pass so your guy won't have to like turn around and make that awkward pass. So now let's head over to the shooting section where we have the 4-star weak foot. Ibra has 5-star skills and 4-star weak foot. So that's what we went for. And you're going to want to go for this one on the left section, mainly because it increases your long shots and shot power by quite a bit. Like as you guys can see, without it, you have 83 shot power and 83 long shots. But then when you add it, it goes up to 87 shot power and 89 long shots. And on all of Ibra's cards, I'm sure most of y'all know this, he's known for his crazy long shots and his shot power and also his volleys. He has like over 90 volleys, over 90 shot power, and around 90 long shots on all of his cards. So we got that to 89 long shots, 87 shot power, which is actually pretty good for pro clubs. It's not in the 90s. If you want, you could possibly add this shot power for 2 skill points, but I just don't think it's worth it. You're not going to notice much of a difference. I'd rather just put that on something else rather than just this one shot power. And like I said, you have those 90 volleys, which is actually really good. So some incredible shooting stats on this build. 93 finishing, really good. 86 heading accuracy. I've got a lot of headers with this build. You are tall. You have pretty decent jumping of 89. And you can definitely get some header goals with this build. Even though the heading accuracy is not amazing, 86 is definitely usable and you can get some goals with it. But when you're using this build, make sure to just try and lace most of your shots, like hit it with your laces and try and power it back post or first post and just overpower the goalies rather than try and go for finesses. Since you don't have the finesse shot trait, on all of his cards, Ibra, I noticed, doesn't have the finesse shot trait. He has the outside the foot shot trait this year, but that's unfortunately not a thing we can get on the skill tree in pro clubs, so we can't go for that. And you just don't have crazy curve. You only have 74 curve, so I would just suggest going for power shots rather than finesses with this build because you have 87 shot power. But like if you're outside the box, finesse shot outside the box are very good, and you have 89 long shots, so definitely give those finesse shots from outside the box a try. They should work pretty well for you. And then lastly, we have a base stat of 86 penalties, which actually isn't too bad. And obviously, we're not going to upgrade the penalty. It's just not worth it. So this will be it for shooting section, and we can move on to the last section, which will be pace. And for pace, we actually went for the full pace upgrade. So this took a lot of our skill points, actually took up 40 skill points, which is quite a bit because I'm pretty sure you have 110 total. But what that'll get us to is 88 acceleration and 86 sprint speed, which is actually really good for a 6'4" center forward, in my opinion, and especially for an Ibra build. I'm pretty sure on like all of Ibra's cards, he doesn't even have this pace at all. But it's just nice to get a lot of pace, especially for a bigger guy, since you don't have crazy agility and balance, and they're just naturally not that fast. So it's just good just to boost it up as fast as possible. And this build is pretty beastly if you look at the physical stats, the pace stats, the shooting stats, and even the dribbling with the 5-star skills. It's a pretty beastly build. And you can score several different ways with this build when it comes to headers, some crazy volleys, some long shots, just some finesse shots, anything really when it comes to just dribbling, beating somebody in the box and getting a shot with those 5-star skills, bodying people off, then taking a rip, first post, whatever it may be. You can definitely score a variety of goals with this build. It's very well rounded, and this 88 acceleration stat is very underrated. Make sure you're doing some skills and try and utilize that high acceleration stat with your big man and see if you can beat people on the dribble and just create a shot for yourself. But this is going to wrap up this Zlatan Ibrahimovic center forward build for you guys today. If y'all do give this build a try, please let me know how it worked for you in the comments. If you could hit that like button on this video and that subscribe button on my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you could do that. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.